Hi, Chinese foodies. I'm Brandon, currently here in Chongqing, China, and today we're going to be trying Chongqing Xiaomian, which is one of the spiciest types of noodles in the world. We're going to be exploring the city and trying a few different types of noodles so that you can see the array of different types of noodles that they have to offer here in Chongqing. So let's go and try the first kind.老板，早上好。你好。2两削面。
哦，要得，要不要还加？
要，肯定要。
加个煎蛋哈。
加，要一个。
你走嘛。
好。
端过来啊。
好，谢谢。All right, guys. So this is going to be some like pickled cabbage, pickled vegetables. Here we have what I believe is soy sauce. Then we have the dried chilies. That's my favorite part. Here we have some oil, some sesame oil. Lastly, you got to add some meat sauce. Obviously, have some meat, some salt, some MSG. And the bowls are ready to go. All right, guys, so we've ordered our noodles. Now we're gonna sit and wait for our noodles and have some tea while we wait. Tea is a very common thing that you find in most Chinese restaurants. Most of the restaurants, they offer it for free as just something for the customers to drink while they eat their food. So now we're gonna sit and drink some tea and wait for the delicious noodle. Oh, 谢谢. All right, guys, here we finally have our Chongqing Xiaomian. The portions in China for noodles is basically based on 50-gram increments. So 1两 would be 50 grams, and then 2两, 3两 is 100 and 150 grams. We have 100 grams of noodles, but for example, if I'm gonna have a bowl of noodles for lunch or dinner, I might choose to get 3两. But for breakfast, a simple meal like this, 2两 is definitely enough. And as you can see on the inside, they also put a lot of some boiled lettuce and things. Typically with noodles here in China, they like to add in some different types of some vegetables and things like this. So today we're gonna try these noodles. We gotta mix them up first, obviously, get the seasoning mixed in nice and well with the noodles. So it looks very spicy, as we expected, but it looks very delicious as well with all the seasonings and everything like this. Wow. Just so many flavors inside with the chilies and everything coming out, and the saltiness of the vegetables, as well as just the aromatic flavor of the chilies and the oils and things like this. Incredible. The way that they mix all the seasonings inside is absolutely amazing. It's actually a little bit spicy. But it's one of those things where the noodles are very spicy, but they're very delicious that you just don't want to stop eating. In America, we also eat a lot of eggs, but the way that they make them in China here is very delicious. The way that they've cooked the egg, it provides a very nice sort of crispy outside with a very soft and juicy inside. It's very, very good. So guys, here we also have some ingredients that you can also add it by your choice. So this one here is gonna be some vinegar. Many people, when they eat noodles in Chongqing, not everyone can handle the spiciness of these noodles. So you add a little bit of vinegar. It helps to take away some of the spicy flavor in the noodles. And that right there, guys, is gonna be just regular table salt. So some people, they like to add a little bit more saltiness to the noodles. For me, they're perfect, but obviously some people, they like to have a saltier bowl of noodles. I think one thing you have to keep in mind when choosing a restaurant for dinner in China is that sort of environment never dictates the flavor of the food. I mean, you can see right now, we're sitting on the side of the street, but this is one of the best noodles that I've ever had while I've been living in Chongqing. So that is to say that when you're living in China or you're living in Chongqing, don't be afraid to come and eat at a place like this. You might be very, very surprised, pleasantly surprised about what the food is that you get. You们特色面是哪一款呢？车手面加炸酱。好，那来一碗吧，我试一下。很辣吗那个？好，没有，辣的可以。这种直接加猪油的，应该是我第一次看到这样做法。我们是这个豌豆汤自己倒吗？豌豆汤那是2块钱吧。就直接加黄豆，然后水。还有胡豆那些。一般要炖多久啊？这个汤？一般要5、6个小时以上。5、6个小时哈。你这个要煮吗？Oh, 交给你们。Oh, 不好意思。So you have to give them the ticket. I didn't know that. So now they're going to start making the noodles. So let's go and wait for it. Wow, So for like a very simple soup, it's very, very delicious. I'm actually not even a big fan of soups, but this soup is very, very good. 哇，好大一碗面，好大一碗啊！谢谢啊。All right, guys. So finally we have the noodles. Yeah. So on the top here we have the delicious pork sauce, usually my favorite part of the noodles, and then we also obviously have some lettuce here that they usually add as well. Kind of takes away from all the carbohydrate flavor, and you can see I mentioned before the spicy Chongqing noodles, right? These this chili sauce in there, you can tell just the red color and everything, how much chili sauce they've added inside. And the special thing about this noodles is that they have the dumplings. This is a very unique style. You don't find this very many different places in Chongqing, so I'm very excited to try this for the first time. Very good. It's like a very smoky, you can say, smoky like chili flavor to it. It's not too salty, but it is salty. And then you have a very strong, right there at the end is a very strong Sichuan pepper sort of numbing flavor. I love that numbing flavor. It gives like your mouth just like this whole unique experience. Like it's just exploding with different flavors and everything. I love Chongqing noodles. I would live in Chongqing just so that I can eat the noodles, you know? Now the dumplings, I'm not sure what they have inside, but I imagine it's probably a pork filling. That's usually the most common type of filling that you would find here in China, especially in Chongqing. Very thin wrapper on the outside, so it's not very thick, and it's packed with a lot of meat actually. This is a very good mixture of both meat and noodles obviously, especially when you add in the vegetables as well. It's a very well-rounded meal, and obviously a very strong flavor. Many people in Chongqing, they eat this for breakfast, which is very surprising because it's a very strong flavor. I mean, lettuce has no flavor to it, right? But when you mix it with these spices and everything like that in the soup, it has a very, very strong flavor, very delicious as well. I'm not a big vegetable fan, but when you put lettuce inside of these noodles, the flavor becomes explosive. It's amazing. It's kind of like Chongqing coffee, you know, when you have a big spicy bowl of noodles in the morning, it really wakes you up before you go to work. That is a very unique style of noodles. It's actually my first time trying something like this as well. A bit spicy and a bit numbing. My mouth is still a bit numb from those noodles. So now it's time to go to the second location, which is going to be closer to the center of the city. We're going to be going to try another type of very famous noodles, mian. So, all right, let's go and try. So we've arrived in Yuzhongchu, which is basically the center of Chongqing. And so now we're going to the next restaurant to eat some noodles. And this has actually my personal favorite type of noodles, which is mian. So it's gonna have the meat sauce as well as like the yellow pea sauce as well on the top. So let's go see. This restaurant's been open for a long time. So very delicious, very famous noodles. 你好，你好。那来个2两碗炸面。要，正常的做法就行了。加一个煎蛋吧。那个是干版的吧？那个碗炸面。行。I'm a little bit different when I have noodles, so I like the dry noodles. So sometimes in Chongqing they have soup inside the noodles. Sometimes it's just made dry. So I like the dry kind personally. So I just made sure that they're gonna make it dry for us. 这个吧。谢谢。All right, guys. So finally we have the 碗炸面. So as you can see, as I mentioned before, you have the meat sauce on one side, and you have the yellow pea sauce on the other side, and we obviously added an egg as well. So this is obviously a choice at any restaurant with any noodles that you get. You can add an egg if you want, or not add an egg. You have the meat sauce, you have the yellow peas, and then on the bottom is where they've added all of the chilies and everything like this. You also have some vegetables here on the bottom as well, just to kind of switch up the flavor and add a nice texture to it, because the stalks of this vegetable is a bit crunchy, so it adds a different type of texture to it when you're eating as well. And guys, this is the kind of noodles that I love. You know, when you mix them up like this and you have a thick sort of sauce that sticks to the noodles, this is sort of why I prefer dry noodles over the soup noodles. Vegetables first. Not so spicy, this one. Okay. In the beginning, it's not so spicy. And then later, as you keep eating it, the spice builds and builds and gets spicier and spicier. Very, very good. When I was mixing it, I was talking about the creamy texture, right? When you try these noodles, it's a very rich, creamy flavor to it. And that's obviously because of the yellow peas as well as the sesame paste. There's also quite a strong smoky flavor in there, which obviously it comes from the chili sauce as well as the meat sauce. in a very famous restaurant that makes this specific type of noodles. So if any one of you are in Chongqing or you're coming to Chongqing, highly recommend that you come to this restaurant and try the noodles. I also have to say, I think that these noodles at this restaurant are cooked very well. As an American Italian, I prefer my noodles to be a little bit al dente, right? Like, I mean, they're cooked all the way, but leaving a little bit of the chewy, crunchy texture in the noodles. And these are cooked perfectly. They're not overcooked, I should say. So they're not too soft, which is very, very nice. All right, guys, so also one of the cool things about the noodle restaurants here in China is that you can get free soup as well. It's not a very strong flavored soup, obviously because you have such a strong flavored noodles. With the seaweed soup, it's a very nice mixture of a refreshing soup that also keeps your body hydrated and also warms you up. It's a very warm soup, so obviously in the winter it's nice to drink some soup while you're eating your noodles as well. We finished eating the noodles, and so now we're going to go to the next restaurant. We're going to keep exploring for some of Chongqing's most famous and iconic types of noodles, and we'll take you along the way. So let's go. 来一碗鸡公面。要，2两吧。先付吧，先付钱。Alright, so guys, this is all the chicken where they use for the noodles. So you guys can see obviously on the top of it as well, they put like some cilantro as well as like green onions just to flavor it up a little bit. They would use this then to basically add on top of the noodles once people order it. 好，谢谢。 Wow, that is a big bowl of noodles. All right. 可以加一点吧。谢谢老板。All right, guys. So we finally have our noodles. Looks absolutely amazing. So much red chili oil and everything like this. You can also see the amount of cilantro they've added on top and things like this. The owner actually is very, very nice. He also added some pieces of beef for free for us as well. Very, very nice. First, we got to mix it up though and get the noodles nice and mixed together with all the seasoning and spices. But with all this, quite difficult to mix up this, to be honest. Wow, I gotta say, this is probably the best chili sauce that we've tried out of all the places we've been to. It's amazing, very, very good. Also, with so much fresh cilantro on top, it's a very fresh flavor as well. So, you get the spiciness and the saltiness from the seasoning, but then you get the freshness of the cilantro and everything like that. And here, guys, as you can see, this is the staple food of this restaurant. So the chicken that we saw over there cooking in the pot, this is what we were seeing. So they add this on top of all the noodles that you order. I mean, obviously if you order the chicken noodles. So let's try what the chicken tastes like. Incredible. The chicken has an amazing flavor to it. And this is one of the beautiful things about cooking the chicken for so long and those spices. It becomes so soft and so delicious. That chicken is incredible. Guys, so as we mentioned before at one of the other restaurants, many restaurants in China, they also give a lot of things to their customers for free. At this restaurant, we have the soy milk for free. So you can take it as much as you want over there and just drink as you'd like. And the other thing that this restaurant does, which is very cool, is that you can add as much noodles as you want into the soup for free. When you're in China, we paid 18 kwai for this. It's like $3 US. You get as much noodles as you want and you get free soy milk. So that's quite a good deal. All right, guys, so before we go to the next restaurant, we have to try the steamed buns that the owner gave to us for free. He also mentioned that these sold out very quickly. So once they're sold out for the day, they don't have any more until the next day. So if you're coming to look for these steamed buns, definitely go there early and make sure you get there before they run out. They told us it's like their famous dish, their 特色 jiang rou bao. The jiang rou is like a salty, a little bit sweet, sort of soy sauce that they put on the pork when they make it. Wow, very, very delicious. That sauce is incredible. Highly recommend you guys to go and try this restaurant. Definitely try the steamed buns when you go as well. This is incredible. I wish I had this for breakfast earlier. Save the rest for later. 你喜欢吃面吗，师傅？啊？喜欢吃面吗？吃面，我们中国都是吃面，那个又方便，价格又便宜。对。你都喜欢吃什么面？我
们这打工的都是吃小面，
都是小面，
都是吃小面，3两
3两，哎，多吃点。哎，师傅，我问一下，你们平时吃削面是早上吃还是中午吃啊？
这个每个人的习惯不一样，我是早上吃馒头，中午吃面，晚上回家
吃饭
做肉，
哦，
鱼肉，大鱼大肉，
挺好的呀。
吃。
你们特色是什么面？
布拉克，
哎，布拉克
小面。
小面啊，来一碗啊，就来一碗那个吧，布拉克小面。哎，加吧，加一点炸酱。来试一下，谢谢。Got a lot of green onions on the top, so it looks very delicious. I love green onions. The seasoning is very dark. Wow, the flavor is just very strong. The smell is very strong, you know? Wow, the color of this is amazing. So many greens and so many, like the dark color of the soy of the sauce is amazing. Wow. Very smoky flavor, this one. Not as spicy as the others. That's why the color is black. They smoke the chilies, so they become very roasted and very dark. So it gives it a very smoky flavor and a very dark color to the seasoning of the noodles. Very good. Amazing. Very, very interesting flavor. It's the first time I've ever had anything like this. All right, guys, so if you enjoyed watching us eat Chongqing Xiaomian today, make sure to smash the like button and make sure you also subscribe because we're gonna be taking a lot more trips around Chongqing to share some of Chongqing's special foods with you and to show you what Chongqing has to offer. In the comment section, I want to see you guys talking about which noodles from today is your favorite, and we'll be sure to enjoy the conversation with you guys and talk about what we've seen today. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.